Thank you to be here, and thank you to be here in Vegas at reInvent. Today we are going to talk about making data conversational with AI. So we will see a story of a customer of us that had like 50 years of legacy data, and he would like to interrogate the data to get insight from it. So the agenda is pretty simple. We will try to start from the why. So we will work backwards from the customer. So I will teach you about the customer, and then we will see the data that the customer is using, and we would like to get inside. Then they built a small solution like 10 years ago to address some of the issues, but the solution was not complete. So it had some problems, and then we will see the final solution with a small video, like a demo for what we did. So I'm Francesco Cerizzi. I'm a solution architect in Italy. In the end, there are also my contact, my email, the LinkedIn, so you can just ping me, write me an email if you're interested in it. I'm trying to specialize myself basically in generative AI, but I'm a broad solution architect on broad services in AWS. The customer we are talking about is very, very big radio broadcaster in Italy. They have like 5 million users, and for the Italian market is like 10% of the population. So they are pretty big. It was founded in 1976, so 50 years ago, and they collected data from, I think, 20 years, plus or minus, it's like 20 years. They are recognized as a fast mover because they are one of the first radio to start a video radio, so they have a channel, a website, and you can see the radio on video, and it is streamed through AWS. They collected data, a lot of data, so let's dive deep a little bit on the data of the customer. They have simple tables like this one. They are tables that they were using to register, I don't know, the maintenance of the equipment of the radio, the issues that they had, what did they do for fixing that. So it is a very structured data. It is simple to dive deep on that. But they had also other type of data. So they had, for example, instruction manuals for the equipment. This is the equipment that is for a mixer, for a radio, the radio mixer, and this manual helps you in understanding if you have an issue, what you have to do to fix that. So they have a bunch of them for all the equipment. They have many of them, but they were not using them. They also have data about the regulation, the Italian regulation, because we in Europe, I think also in US, there are strict regulation to the radio waves. So they have a bunch of stuff to understand if they are doing things well or not. And in the end, I think my favorite thing, this is what we will dive deep in the demo. We will see the POC on that. They have a bunch of maps of the Italian territory that was showing you the radio coverage of the radio station. So, for example, this is a map of Turin in the north of Italy. So I don't know if you know Turin, but it is famous for basically two sport things. We have the ATP finals. So if you're a fan of tennis, you can watch that, the finals there. And also for the soccer is the home of Juventus, so that's it. So we will dive deep on how we can make this map conversational. We can interrogate that data. So these are all the data that our customer had, and the first solution that they tried to do like 10 years ago was trying to put the data in a relational database. For sure, it is simple with the first table that we saw, but with the other one, it was not possible. So in the end, what they got was like a solution that had some pros and cons. The only pro is that it was trying to address the issue, the business issue, because something was partially searchable, but there was a lot of information loss. We are not, we are not seeing the map. We are not getting the data from the manual. We are not able to interrogate about the regulation. So there was a lot of problems. There was not full search on text, and after a few years, they were not using that anymore. So when the customer went to us, they had this solution that it was not working anymore. So what we did, we tried to build our own data whisperer. We spoke with the customer, we tried to understand the data that he was ingesting in the system, and we tried to start from what they build and changing it to something different. We changed the relational database with a vector database, basically. So we build a knowledge base on Amazon Bedrock, and we build a RAG, a retrieval augmented generation architecture, to use natural queries, no more SQL, but natural queries to query the data and get insight with the whole data that we loaded in the system. At some point, we decided to start somewhere. So we had the instruction, the regulation, the table, and also the map. And so we decided to target the most complex things, the map. What we did, we had two problems. We need to extract the information from the map to have some metadata. And it is pretty simple, because in the map, on the right corner, if you look at that, you have a bunch of information on the city, on the latitude, longitude, and a bunch of stuff that helps you in having metadata from the map itself. But we was also looking for a semantic description of the image, because we would like to search for that using the retrieval augmented generation. So what we did, we just take an LLM that had vision capabilities. We using at the first try, we used Sonnet 3, and now we are using Sonnet 3.5, and we ask Sonnet to that prompt that you see in the bottom of the deck itself. We ask them to analyze the map, build a JSON file, and adding a description to it in order to be searchable. So we are embedding the description, and we are using that to search the maps inside the system itself. It was working pretty good, because you can also, I don't know if you know that, but in Bedrock you can also try to give hints to your large language model. So for example, if you would like to have a JSON, in the prompt you write, give me a JSON, but you also start to complete also the answer from the LLM. So for example, you open the parentheses, and so the LLM is much more, for the LLM is much more simple to complete the JSON file, because you already started with the parentheses, so it understands that it needs to complete the JSON file. Just for your information, this morning I tried that. I don't know, have you heard about Amazon Nova, the new models that we announced 2 days ago? This morning I tried that, the exact same prompt with Amazon Nova Pro, and it was working good. I built the JSON, I had the description, I had all the stuff for a way cheaper cost. So I would suggest to give it a try. Then we embedded that, we had the retrieval augmented generation, and we are starting to query our map. So that is an example. I loaded the image, but as you can see, I can query the image, asking, for example, about Vinovo, that is a city in the middle of the red thing. Here, you cannot see it very well, but it's in the middle of the red. And the vision, the LLM, Claude 3.5 in this case, is reading the image and answering us that Vinovo is covered. Then we can do another question. We can ask about another city that is in the green zone. In the green zone, you have to trust me, but it is there. So the LLM is basically helping us in understanding if a city in Italy is covered or not by the wave of the radio. So how they are using that? Basically, whenever they would like to understand if they have to buy new antennas or new stuff, they just look for the city that they would looking for coverage, and they understand that using that system. So in the end, what they got from this project, the initial testing phase that was made on the map demonstrated that there was a lot of transformative potential. So they really loved what generative AI capabilities added to the application. And so now they are starting to load in the system all the other stuff. So we are loading the manuals, we are loading the equipment, we are loading also the regulation. We are doing things step by step, but we have in production the thing with the map, and we are adding stuff. The customer now switch from SQL to natural language, so it is so much simpler for people to look for the data, and also non-technical people are able to access the application. And all of this stuff together basically bring us to a fast time to value. So what basically takes days, because imagine that you were looking for the coverage for Rome, for example, and how was it working? A person took the phone, called another person, and ask him, yeah, please, can you check the Rome coverage signal? And that person need to go through all the PDF, all the stuff, look for Rome, and then answer him back. So they was losing like days for that because it was not so much prioritized, and now we get minutes for retrieval that information, and it is a game changer for them. And all these stuff together, and this is what I would like to take from this session, is that we are doing stuff that for them was impossible 3 years ago. So generative AI is enhancing all our application, and it is changing our application, but the most important thing, in my opinion, is that we are unlocking new possibility, new things to do that was impossible some years ago. That's it. I would like to thank you. That are all my contacts. You can get me on LinkedIn, you can send me an email. In the AWS events application, you will get a survey about the session. So please, if you would like to give me a feedback on what I did good, what did I not, so I can improve that. I'm going just to take off the microphone, and then I will be outside. We can have a chat one-on-one, and we can dive deep on the use case. Thank you so much.